Hey guys, and welcome to Crows Dislike. These are basically videos of things I dislike, so you might agree with them, might not. With that being said, let's see what today's topic is. Crow dislikes working for UPS, part 2. Oh my goodness, I'm actually making this. Special thanks goes to all the people who have commented on my UPS video. I guess a lot of people really do dislike working for UPS, so that's why I'm making this one. I'm going to basically be talking about the kind of little things that I really disliked about UPS. Last time it was supervisors, managers. This one I'm going to try to make it more employees and other little stuff. Now I'm going to begin with saying about the time. And I worked for UPS for 7 years. I actually worked every single shift, but my main shift was always day shift. I worked preload, I worked day shift, I worked midnight, and I worked twilight. Twilight is before midnight. But I worked them all. Each shift had its own little unique features. They worked differently than the other shifts, so it kind of did suck, especially when you were a sorter and for day shift it was we concentrated majority of like the main local area, and then twilight concentrated on all over the place. So they actually had 3 papers, unlike us who had 1 paper and it was everything New Jersey. So you know, twilight was concentrated on the second day, third day air, also first day air, all the Texas, California stuff. We didn't get that. Midnight kind of concentrated on a couple of other things, also local, more local for getting all the preload buildings ready, but that was them, and they also concentrated on second, third, and first day. Yeah, first air shipping, first day shipping. Whatever. Yeah, they concentrated on that. Preload mostly concentrated on basically getting the trucks ready. And now this is the part where it pretty much sucked, because if you worked for preload, let's just say you were doing a double, there's a different pay system for preload compared to the other 3 shifts. All the other 3 shifts get paid the same. Preload actually gets paid the way the brown truck people get paid. So the way the drivers get paid, that's how they get paid. And that pretty much sucked, because if you didn't know and you worked that shift, and you didn't tell a supervisor that you worked that shift, and they didn't put your time in for that shift that you worked, you don't get paid for preload. That sucked. And actually that happened to me, where I worked a Saturday for preload. I worked 4 hours and I didn't get paid for it, and I never really claimed it. I didn't know until basically a year later, and I was like, oh well, it's kind of too late now. But yeah, I didn't know about that system. So anytime you work preload and you were day shift, midnight, or twilight, you had to tell somebody to put in the time. Now here was the other problem, because there were some supervisors that didn't even know how to put in this time. Some full-time managers even knew how to do it, others didn't. Same goes for supervisors. Now if you had a supervisor that went on vacation, you're screwed, because nobody was going to put that time in if you didn't know anybody who could. Because they had this different patient system. Now they actually, the preload people, they put the time in, but they put it in the time that you get paid as a driver, but you're not in that paid slip, so it's not there. So when the supervisor or the full-time manager put in your time for the money you made, they're basically verifying that you worked that shift. If you didn't, then you get screwed. But majority of the time they never verified that you worked. They just took your word for it. So there was could be people that stole money from the company doing this. Like, oh yeah, I worked preload. Oh, okay, what was your time? Blah blah blah. Now put it in, because sometimes they didn't verify. Now a lot of times they do verify, but there were many times they just put it in and that's it. So you could get away with it, but if you do, hope you don't get caught, because they will fire you, and I do not recommend that. Preload so far is the easiest shift. The other shifts were pretty tough. Day shift and midnight were the toughest. I mean, midnight will tolerate so much poop from a lot of their employees that it was just like, wow. Like, I literally heard of a guy who didn't get fired after spitting at a full-time manager and throwing a scanning gun at him. He didn't get fired. There were more to the story, but that's how much they tolerate their poop. I mean, like, wow. There was another one that I found kind of disgusting, that there was a worker who was working in the truck, and he was unloading. He's like, hey man, I gotta go to the bathroom. Alright, cool, I'll cover you. Now this is another one that sucks. Let me go back before I say the remainder of the story. There were many times there were a lot of crappy employees. Now there will be times where you be by yourself, and you were supposed to have help unloading a truck. That person goes outside, starts talking to girls, or he or she just randomly walks around, starts talking to people, and nobody really helps you, so you're by yourself. Now, there are other times where you're loading a truck and you're supposed to get help, and that person never comes. Now, this one is the one where I'm going to go back, where it was disgusting because the guy goes, all right, I need to go to the bathroom, I'm going to do it right here. He pulls down his pants and he starts taking a poop right here in front of my face, like right there. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is disgusting. Now, it didn't happen to me, but I can imagine the guy who did. He's like, after that, I left that shift. I'm like, wow. And there were a lot of things like this, like people just being rude and disrespectful and disgusting. Like, there were a lot of people that basically had Bounce Chicka Wow Wow in the building everywhere. Like, there were places that you probably could have Bounce Chicka Wow Wow in the stairs and nothing happened to them. You had Bounce Chicka Wow Wow in the brown trucks. Like, I mean, there were people who literally just Bounce Chicka Wow Wow anywhere. And like, it was crazy. I remember there was a girl that was giving head to like everybody like in the PDs, and I'm like, what the hell? They fired her after her first week because they figured it out and looked in the cameras. But yeah, there was a lot of people that had Bounce Chicka Wow Wow, and I'm like, what the freak? And I'm like, damn, I wouldn't let that girl do that to me. I might catch the Terminator. But in the end, it's still disgusting if you think about it, because if it's summertime, it's hot. And we're sweating, and we smell. That's disgusting. Wintertime, we're still sweating. And it's disgusting because we got all these layers of clothes, and on top of that, it's more of the fact that, yeah, some of us, like this, we just start sweating and start smelling like crap. And then it's like, you're going to give head to this guy? Ugh. Like, there were a lot of people that smell bad. Now, going to like the weather, it was hot and it was like 100 degrees and you were unloading a truck, it felt like 150. Same goes for loaders. It was 150 in that truck and you will sweat like crazy. And it sucked because there were a lot of people who just wanted to take off their shirt, but they couldn't. And some people just brought a tank top in and started working with that, but they didn't let them wear the tank top. And they're like, well, screw you, you come unload this truck. So there was a lot of complaints about this, and that was pretty much one that sucked. Same goes for working in the winter time. It could be like -1 degree and it'll be like, feel like -30, and it was really cold. I mean, I remember one time I was like, whoa, I was like freezing in that truck, and there was 4 of us but it was so cold. It felt like we were in a freezer. That's where I learned that if you work the night shift, you should wear 2 pairs of gloves if it's winter time. 2 pairs of gloves, sweatpants underneath your jeans, or 2 layers of sweatpants, and 2 sweaters and a beanie because it's gonna be cold. And that was another one that sucked because the weather can hurt you badly. I mean, I think springtime was the best because it was not too hot, not too cold. So, but still, it was, oh my goodness, like it would destroy you. Now, another one I wanted to talk about was that there was this coffee, these bags that they send in coffee. I think the zip code was 07834. And they will come in bags, and they were all little coffees you just put in an instant coffee maker. And all of these will be sent by the small sort, and they will come like bags. And sometimes they got stuck in the conveyor belt, so it was like this, and then it will be inside the middle. When you pull it out, or you try to take it out, regardless however you did it, sometimes these broke and the coffee will spill everywhere. And people wouldn't clean it up, or people wouldn't do nothing about it. So I'd be like, eh, whatever. And it pretty much sucked because these things were everywhere. And I remember I told the manager, the full-time manager, I'm like, listen, why don't you just tell Small Sort to put it in a tote, tape the top around, put a label on it, send it down the chute, we'll sort it out correctly. That way it'd be easier for the sorters instead of us just putting it in the tote, and then we put it on the belt, and then we'll go straight to the to the load area, and they will just scan that barcode and put it into the truck instead of just throwing it in there and having it, getting broken in inside the truck as well, or inside the maze. And the guy literally just told me, no, that's creating jobs. We don't need more jobs in this place. And I'm like, are you kidding me? But this is the customer's products. It's like he didn't even care that the customer's products had to matter. And that was another one that pretty much sucked because I tried to help within this development and trying to make sure that they don't lose money for this coffee, because there was a lot of them that actually broke. I would say if they send 100, 40 of them broke per day. And it was bad, really, really bad. So the coffee one, if that company's watching this video, yeah, it was bad. So with that being said, I got a special thanks for you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.